Alright, in this video we're going to show you how to install a purpose-built Rockford Fosgate audio system. Hey everyone, I'm Eric and we're back here in the Rockford Fosgate R&D lab. Today we're going to install an X317 Stage 2 in this 2020 Maverick X3 Max X. Let's get started by installing some bungee cords on our doors so we can easily move in and out of the UTV. Now this next step isn't necessary, but we're going to use a T27 Torx to remove our roof so we have better light for our camera. Now we need access to the battery compartment, which is located behind the passenger seat. On our X3 Max X, it's located behind the rear passenger. Now, for stages 1 and 2, you only need to remove the rear passenger seat. However, for stages 3, 4, and 5, you'll want to remove all the seats. For video clarity, we're going to go ahead and remove all of them. To get started, we'll need a 3/4 inch socket with extension and remove 2 nuts from the rear of each seat. To access these nuts, you'll need to adjust the seat until you see them through the little access hole. Alright, now we're ready to finish detaching the seats. We'll use a 1/2 inch socket and wrench to remove 2 bolts from each seat front. Then we'll move to the back and use an 18mm socket and extension to remove the top of the seat belts. For our Max X with 4 seats, we'll use a T20 Torx to remove the seatbelt bumpers to gain access to the top of the seatbelt mechanism. Now on the driver's seat, there's also a seatbelt safety lanyard that needs to be disconnected. Don't forget to reattach this during reassembly. Failure to do so puts the Can-Am in limp mode and significantly reduces your speed. Alright, now that we have access to the battery, we'll use a 10mm socket to disconnect the negative terminal. Okay, now we're ready to install our dash kit. Now the kit comes with 2 bezels. This bezel and backing plate are designed for the PMX-0. This bezel is designed for the PMX-2 and PMX-3 models. Also included is a speaker output harness. Now, to get started, we'll use a 1/8 inch bit to pre-drill 2 holes using the dimples in the dash as markers. Then, we'll come back to the table and secure our bezel to the PMX source unit using the small screws included in the kit and a 3mm Allen driver. Then, we'll secure the radio assembly to the dash kit using the same size screws. Okay, now we're ready to make our power connection to the source unit. The connector we need is attached to the underside of the center dash panel that's next to the steering wheel. For video clarity, we've removed this panel to illustrate our connections. We'll start by removing the upper dash fuse panel. Then, we'll run the female power connector from the source unit harness down the left side next to the 2 fluid reservoirs. Now, you'll need to get under the dash to make your final connection. Keep in mind, this may be secured by a dummy receptacle to keep the connector in place. Now, if you're using the PMX-0, you'll be using this yellow harness. Connect the female end to the power connector, then the male end to the source unit harness. Then just connect your yellow wire to the battery positive. Okay, now we're ready to prepare for our front speaker installation. To get started, we'll use a T25 Torx to remove 12 screws from the upper panels and 4 from the center console. 2 are on the top and 2 are on the center console itself. On the passenger side, there is a hidden 10mm nut located inside the fuel access door. We'll then use a plastic pry tool to remove 4 plastic push pins on the top and a 5th pin located behind the ignition, hidden under the panel. Now we'll move on to our driver's side panel. We'll lift up on the panel and disconnect our headlight switch along with any other accessories and detach the cable stays. We'll disconnect the harness to the smart lock module by pulling the red pin out, then depressing the black catch prong. This can be very tight, so listen for a click. Then carefully remove the plug along with the 2 additional Christmas tree stays. Now we'll transfer our smart lock module from the factory panel to our new speaker panel. First, orient both panels in the same direction on a table. Using an 8mm socket with extension, remove 4 screws from the smart lock bracket. While holding the smart lock with your fingertips, transfer the assembly to the new panel and secure it using 2 of the same screws. Then, using the provided hardware, we'll use an 8mm socket again and a number 1 Phillips to secure a 3rd landing. Then, we'll transfer any electrical switches to the new panel. Finally, we've included some replacement warning stickers. Now that we have our smart lock module and switches installed, we'll transfer our 4 push pin grommets to our new panel so they're ready for installation. All right, now that we're done with that, we'll route our front speaker wires. Use the front left for the driver's side and the front right for the passenger side, making sure that our waterproof connectors reside at the center of the dash. Okay, now we're ready to install our front speaker panels. We'll start with the driver's side and reattach our smart lock harness, being sure to push in the red locking pin. Then we'll reattach our headlight switch and any other accessories. We'll finish up by zip tying our harnesses and seating the panel back in place. Then we'll move over to our passenger panel by zip tying our harness in place and seating the panel back into its original location. Now we're ready to install our speakers. Connect the speaker wire by attaching the red wire to the large spade lug and the black wire to the small spade lug. We'll attach the speaker to the panel using the included 3mm bit and supplied hardware. For the prime speakers included in this kit, we'll secure the speaker into the number 1 hole in the panels. Now we're ready to install our dash kit. Connect the white 12-pin molex to the source unit. Then connect the front left to the left dash speaker and the front right to the right speaker. The remaining rear speaker outputs and blue turn-on wire are not used in this kit. Then we'll make any additional connections like antenna, USB, aux-in, or additional remotes. Then, using a T25 Torx driver, we'll secure the dash kit to the Can-Am using the larger provided screws. Okay, now that we have all that done, we're ready to make our battery connection, test the system, reassemble everything, and get this Can-Am back out on the trails. Alright, as you can see, that installation came together pretty easy. But if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact our technical support. They can be reached Monday through Friday at 1-800-669-9899 or through live chat at the bottom of our website at rockfordfosgate.com. Until next time, I'm Eric. We'll see you again soon.